guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are obviously taking a look at the Mk6 GTI Edition 35, which is owned by Lucy, who is currently standing behind the camera. If you're new to this channel, I just don't want it to get windy. Oh, it is windy. I don't want to thingy. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, I am sort of in the search of a new car. Coincidentally, I have a nice Mk6 to hand to drive whenever I want. Today we're making a video on it because I've realised I haven't actually made a proper video on this car in the entire time that she's owned it. You've seen the car, but you haven't actually seen much of it, or what it sounds like, what it drives like, or anything like that. So that is today's plan. This car is a 2-litre turbo. Because this car is the Edition 35, which is the 35th anniversary of the original Mk1 GTI, meaning this has got a few upgrades to it, which a standard Mk6 GTI doesn't. Now I'm going to open the bonnet and tell you guys a little thing that you might not know. The Mk5 GTI was the first platform to have the TFSI engine, and that had a 2-litre KO3 turbo. And then they brought out the 30th anniversary edition Mk5, which had a KO4 turbo. It could produce 300 brake horsepower with just a standard tune. And then the Mk6 GTI came out and they went back to the same turbo, but it was a slightly revised engine, which meant it was better at some things, but then it lacked other things. The standard Mk6 GTI produces around 197 brake horsepower. And then this is where this car comes into it, which is the 35th anniversary, which they then went back and used the same engine from the 30th in this car, which is also in the Golf R and the Scirocco R, which means this car has 232 brake horsepower. So pretty much these are just more powerful engines than the standard Mk6 GTI. That was like a whole lecture, which we have just summed up. It's funny, guys. Last week or the week before, it was really sunny and it was like 20 degrees, but now it's cold again, which means it's the perfect time to buy your BWTV hoodies. On sale now at bwtvshop.co.uk. Big cartel in the description. Support the channel. Starting at the front of this car, it has a subtle change to the standard GTI, which obviously the headlights, projector headlights with these nice LED daytime running lights, which are quite unique. I haven't seen them much in a lot of other cars. You can obviously tell it's an Edition 35 when it's coming from the long distance away. At the bottom, you have this really subtle splitter, which is a slight change to what the standard GTI is. It obviously goes in at the front and pops back out, follows the bumper like little fins. Honeycomb is absolutely everywhere in this car. It's on the outside and it's on the inside. And I like honeycomb, so that's a good thing. Moving around to the side of the car, it has these 18-inch Monza alloys, fucking huge brakes. I have to admit, the brakes on this thing are amazing. And then the red calipers, which obviously just set the whole car off. I would have thought that they would have made this a bit more obvious, that it's a 35 edition, but it's very hidden. 5-door, all the doors work, unlike my car. The back of the car is my favorite, just because of the lights. Honestly, they are the best looking tail lights I've ever seen on a car. And everything here is very modern. It's obviously got the same boot opening as the Mk5. On the bumper, it's got the diffuser with the 2 fins. Honestly, I think the rear exhaust tailpipes need to be bigger. And then you've got the little roof spoiler, which does have a tiny lip to it, but it's not stupidly overdone because it's obviously a Volkswagen and they keep things on the down low. Now, I think we should start it up and go for a drive. Wait, that was really sarcastic, wasn't it? Redo that. But now, I think it's time to start it up and go for a drive. Obviously, I've driven this car a lot before, so I know what it feels like, I know what to expect. And obviously the first thing that we need to do is put it in sport mode. So yeah, this is the most modern car that we've got on the channel so far, which means it's got some upgrades. It's got auto lights, auto wipers, automatic locking. It's a very bumpy ride because it's in sport mode. I'm going to put it back into comfort just for now, and it does make a big difference. Not that this road really helps anyway. This car obviously has buttons down here, which is traction control off, and if you hold it down you can turn stabilisation off. Then you've got comfort, normal, and then sport. There's two buttons missing, which I don't really know what that could have been, and then you've got park blanking. We'll turn right, I'll put it back into sport mode. Traction control is on, so we're going to see how well it handles on these quite wet roads. It's mad how linear the power is. Like, you can map this thing to get another 60 brake from it. I cannot imagine that. There's just power all the way through. First gear pull. That was in the wet. It like lost no traction. Well, it lost a little bit there. I felt that. We went over a little slippy dip. But obviously, because it is only front wheel drive, you can't power it through the corners like you can like the Golf R. This has a lot more personality to it than the four-wheel drive cars that I've driven. Saw my concentration phase there. That was right, we need to breathe. This car is just, it's absolutely mad how powerful it is. It's only 232 brake horsepower, but at the same time 232 brake horsepower is a lot. Would I buy this car? If I had a spare 14 grand, then yes, but I sadly don't. When we revealed it on the channel, a lot of people said, oh, you could have bought an S3 for that, you could have bought this for the same amount of money. But to me especially, and I know Lucy feels the same way, it's not common. It's a rare car. It's worth a lot more to people who know what it is. The average person would just think this is a GTI. They wouldn't know what's underneath the bonnet. And that's why I think this car is just so special to people like me and to Lucy and to other enthusiasts about Volkswagen. It handles amazingly and it puts the power down extremely well. Obviously that all goes into the tyres and things like that, but you need a good platform to start with to be able to get that power down. I would say it's 100% worth it buying this car. You could also think of it as an investment because it is a rare car, and if you don't drive it a lot, this is on 50,000 miles, which is quite low for a 19. We're on 2019, aren't we? For a 7-year-old car, that's pretty good. Definitely get yourself one if you've got £14,000 spare. Mumbling all over my words now, but yes, you get the gist of it. It's a very nice car, and with a few mods to it, it can become better, or don't mod it, because it already is a lovely car to drive. But I mean, it could do with some spacers. Look at that gap. That's correct.
So you can have it anyway.
I can drive it anyway because my girlfriend put me on the insurance. Isn't that great? Get yourself a girlfriend, guys.
Or boyfriend.
Or boyfriend. What do you guys think of it? Is it a bit of a waste of money? An additional, what, 4 or 5 grand for the same spec if it wasn't an Edition 35? Or you could go for the Mark 5 Edition 30, which is the same engine, it's practically the same car, it's just got a different shell. And again, it's like £5,000 less. But then that car is not as rare as this car. That's what you got to think about. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Can we try and smash 300 likes on this video? Yeah, let me know what you think of the car. If you live around Surrey and you have a car that you don't mind lending me for a few hours to drive, see what I think of it, see if I would want to buy it as my next car. My email is below. That's probably the best way to get in contact with me because I have a lot of Instagram messages. If you're serious about it, then my email is in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.